what seasonally we can expect in the next little bit. To answer both of those questions, here's Ash. G'day, mate.
Hello, mate. How is things? All right?
Oh, look, top of the world, mate.
Well, you're the bottom of the world, according to me.
Yeah, well, stand on your head.
So yeah, interesting actually. Just hearing what both Julian and Alexis have said. It's quite interesting to kind of hear the perspectives and the anticipation that we might start to bring into play. When we come to the dollar at this particular stage, there's not a whole bunch of commitment here when we look at the messaging. Here's the dollar here. And I'm really interested in this particular area here rather than the other two. The other two are shorter term time frames. So we're looking at the 6 month and the 18 month, which are suggesting that there is some selling pressure from the commitment of traders. So the short term there, that's the 18 month, and there's the 6 month, both at zero. But the 36 month, the 3 year, which is really the kind of the real benchmark, isn't really kind of telling us too much. It's above the 20% line, so it's not really bearish, but it is below 50. So we probably should have a negative kind of stance on the dollar in accordance to the COT data. And if we look at the seasonality, things do get kind of interesting here. If I can, I see why. Let's look at the seasonality and see what that suggests about the dollar, because when we look at the seasonality, at this particular time, we're going into the second week of September, third week of September, in accordance to the days. And we can see that there is a bit of a dip, and it actually looks like some of the lowest point of the year before we really start to rally throughout the end of September into October, another dip, and then a big rally up until around about the middle of November, which is the biggest, actually. That's the time of the most bullish price action in the dollar. Which is why what Alexis is saying is really interesting, because maybe we are looking for longs in the dollar. Possibly the timing isn't quite there yet if we are to trust the seasonal patterns, but it does suggest that there may be something coming. And to hear what's going to happen about the jostling between the taper announcements from the central banks and what you were touching on, mate, about the different announcements may well kind of push this around a little bit before we start to see the seasonals play out. The Aussie is the only other one that is of huge interest, because the Aussie does have every single time frame into positive territory when it comes down to COT data. The 36 month is nicely above the 80% line, and it's at 91. The 18 month is at 100%. And the 6 month is also at 100%. So the Aussie looks to be the most bullish in the short and far term for short and long term for in accordance to the commitment of traders. But when we bring in the seasonals, there isn't that confluence when we know this is not what we really want to see. A big potential move down in September. So really in accordance to seasonals, we should be looking for Aussie longs in October. And then, to be fair, the Aussie longs in October are probably, one of the most bullish during the year when we kind of like compare that kind of movement. It's one of the more bullish movements of the year. There's probably three. You got that point there, and four in actual fact, and that point there when we start to see the Aussie tend to rally. So as long as the COT data remains in this area, remains in bullish kind of territory for the month, then I think that that confluence would really help, and it would probably suggest that the Australian dollar is the safer trade. But we know things change, so we're just going to have to wait and see what happens with the data as the month rolls on. So to summarise, dollar looks a little bit weak when it comes down to both the seasonals and the COT data. The Aussie has not yet lined up, and they look the two clearer out of everything that we've got right now.
No, it hasn't lined up. I agree with them. I've been waiting for it to line up. But it appears to me that the only thing that really is holding it back is the situation in Melbourne and Sydney, which continues to drag on. Mate, thanks so much for interrupting your day. I know it's a busy one. I hope the hairdresser didn't charge you too much.
More on that tomorrow.
Okie dokie. We'll catch you tomorrow, mate.